Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or hello if you are new. It has been so long since I've sat down and had a proper chat with you guys. Honestly, my uploads have been so here and there because of my uni schedule and me just kind of like settling into uni. So I'm so sorry about that. Also, I just want to say I am filming like quite late at night, so I'm using artificial light. And it's the first time that I've ever used artificial light on my channel, so please let me know whether it's good or not. I don't know how it's going to turn out, and I'm probably not going to know until I come to edit, so hopefully, fingers crossed, the lighting's not too bad. But yeah, honestly, I just wanted to talk about kind of my freshers experience and give you a little bit more of a catch up. Obviously, as I'm filming this, it is literally the 17th of October, so I've been at uni for a whole month now, which is completely crazy because I feel like I've been here my whole life, and I thought I would just do a video while it was still so fresh in my mind about kind of like how my fresher weeks went, and also just kind of like give some general tips and advice and kind of like thoughts and feelings about my life at the moment. So honestly, like moving in for me was like not that big of a jump because I was very lucky that I'm literally only moving about 35 minutes from home, and it is genuinely like a 30-minute train back home. So I am super lucky in the sense as I know that a lot of you guys will get a lot more anxious if you were to move out for uni. So genuinely, like moving in, I was so excited at the time, and obviously I did make a moving in vlog, and even though that doesn't cover the ins and outs, you will see in that vlog that I'm genuinely so excited to move in. So yeah, like I was overall really excited, but I feel like after a couple of days, like that it kind of hit me that I was going to be here the rest of the year. Also, my voice sounds so weird, I think, right now, because I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm getting ill or like recovering. It's so weird. Like freshers flu has hit everyone I know so hard. And yeah, I thought the coughing would disappear in lectures by now, but it hasn't. But yeah, after a couple of days, like it really did hit me. And then I felt like it was quite stressful. And I feel like it only felt that way because I was in a room that was really unfamiliar to me. And it's a completely different layout. At the start, it wasn't very me. Like, it's not a very me room. It looks nothing like my room at home. As you guys will see, I'm trying to work out what the best background is for videos. To be honest, I think it will be better for me to be sat on my bed in terms of lighting. But yeah, like until I made the room myself, like mine, yeah, it did feel really weird. Like, it didn't quite feel normal to be at uni in some ways. So yeah, it was hard, like for that first week, in terms of just the case of moving in and getting comfortable in your surroundings can be quite difficult. But I just say bring along anything and everything that's going to make you feel like you're at home. Photos are honestly a must. Like, you need some photos from home of your friends, your family, your cat, your dog, etc. Bring as much like coziness, blankets. I literally currently have a blanket from home that I didn't buy. Like, it's literally just, I've had this for like years. Literally got it with me now. But yeah, bring as much as along from your room at home with you, because I feel like that has sort of helped me, like having familiar smells, familiar items, but also like spice it up with something new. Like obviously my cushions, my photos, like I've made it sort of a different vibe too from my room at home. In terms of like meeting new people, I again am like really lucky. Like, I'm kind of glad that I'm doing this video because I feel like there's so many there is like so many videos out there with really negative, like the truth about freshers kind of videos, and I had quite a positive freshers experience. I feel like this is quite a good video for people to watch if they are anxious. But all I would say is group chats like that you can find on Facebook, you can find on Instagram. If you can get on as many group chats for your accommodation and your course as possible, genuinely that will save you so much. Like, the people you will meet off there will not become your best friends at freshers, but it's nice to like have someone to walk to lectures with at the start and like sort of just chat about how anxious you are to move in. And because of this, like because of like WhatsApp groups, I actually spoke to 2 girls who I now live next door. So I found that they were living in the flat next door to me, and obviously I reached out to them and messaged and kind of was like, hey, I'm Abby, like I'm living next door to you, just thought I'd say hi. And obviously I spoke to all my flatmates on Instagram before I actually moved in. So I'd say you've got to try and seize the opportunity with group chats, because that relieves the pressure of meeting new people. Because although still meeting them for the first time in person is so daunting, the fact that you've had some sort of like mutual conversation did really help me, like really helped me. Like especially one of my flatmates, me and him actually had spoken quite a lot on Snapchat, so we already knew what was our interests and kind of like basic sort of like, yeah, just like interests and hobbies. So that really helped, because then when we moved in together, it was just the case of like getting to know each other a little bit better, and it already had broken the ice because we weren't doing the like first introductions. But like in terms of meeting other people, the one thing that like I found, I'm quite like an outgoing person, and I am quite extroverted, and I do kind of thrive in groups. However, like I do appreciate that if you are really introverted, it can be so nerve-wracking to find kind of your person and like reach out to people. But I would just say that there's always going to be someone in your situation, there's someone who's always going to feel the same way as you do and will feel like they can't meet new people, they can't talk to them. But yeah, like eventually you will hopefully find kind of your person who matches your vibe, like also quite introverted, doesn't necessarily like going out at all. But yeah, like it will be difficult, and it's just stepping out of your comfort zone. But you've got to remember that when you were younger, you made friends. And even though when you're adults, it can be a little bit more daunting to put yourself out there, you did it when you were younger and you can do it now. And I think that is like a really powerful thing. And I think as you go into being 18 and like going to university is so different from high school and sixth form, in terms of everyone is sort of appreciates the fact that they're in the same boat, and everyone doesn't really care about what type of person you are, like what your interests are. They will still chat to you and be so friendly. Like genuinely, everyone is so nice. There's no sort of like bitchiness here. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, me and one of the girls next door, we literally spent the effort knocking on every single person's door in this block that we live in. And yeah, like we were just like kind of introducing ourselves. Not everyone answered, and obviously I understand that, and like everyone, like I don't remember everyone who picked up like answered the door, but like one of the guys who opened the door in one of the flats, he comes out with us like every night now. Like he probably, and he even said he was like, he would not have had the balls to knock on everyone's door. So the fact that we did it first meant that he had someone to go out with on a night. So you've just got to appreciate that some people really don't have the nerve to step out of their comfort zone. So if you are able to do that, then you'll be saving so many other people as well. And yeah, at the end of the day, the people you will meet first in Freshers Week aren't necessarily going to be your best friends for the whole year, but it's just learning about not being too dependent on your friends, and like knowing that you are your own independent person and stand your ground, have your own morals. At the end of the day, if you can remember that throughout the whole Freshers Week, you will get on with some beautiful people, for sure. And I certainly did. I've met so many amazing people. Yes, like not everyone is my people, like my person, but every single individual that I've met literally is unmatchable. Like I love them so much, and they have made my Freshers Week probably like one of the best Freshers Week ever, especially how I had the most low expectations for Freshers Week based off what everyone had said. So yeah, I can't thank them enough for everyone being so friendly. So in terms of the night out, I'm gonna stick some photos on screen of like kind of my Freshers Week nights out, if I can find any that don't have people in, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so I brought a wristband for Freshers. I spent £35 and it was 14 events over 12 nights, or 14 events over 10 nights, something stupid like that. I did get my money's worth, because you will learn very quickly entry fees to most clubs on Freshers is very expensive, especially if it's an event on a wristband. For example, we have a Prism in Birmingham, which I mean is not my favourite club, but the entry for the Freshers nights were like £15 on the door. Even on Fat Soma, they were looking at like £12 to £15 to pay. When in perspective, if you've paid for the wristband, that's like a third of your wristband already sort of done by just going to one night in that club. And most clubs are about like £6 to £10 entry. So realistically, I paid £35 for my wristband. I got 5 nights out on that wristband. So yeah, if we said that they were £7 each entry, I definitely did get my money's worth. So in my opinion, wristbands, I mean, do your research, because not all wristbands are worth it, but if you can find other people that have the same wristband as you, and are interested in going out quite a few nights, then I would 100% recommend the wristbands. They really were useful for me and my friends. But yeah, I would say if you don't get a wristband, be prepared that it is quite expensive on Freshers Week, and plus you're going to be doing your food first food shop. You're going to be a bit nervous about cooking, so you're probably going to want to get a takeaway. And just in general, buying drinks and alcohol and having a good time does also cost you a lot of money. So be prepared that if you don't buy a wristband, that extra fee of having to pay club entry every night will total up. So it is completely up to you. I would say I had a really good experience with a wristband, but I know that also every Fresher video that I've watched has said wristbands aren't worth it. I still brought one, but yeah, I got my money's worth. It was really beneficial for me. But yeah, I would also say it's completely okay to say no to a night out, even if you feel like everyone is like, come on, you're gonna miss out on such a good night. I know that FOMO is such a major thing, and I will go on to talk about FOMO because that is something I have been experiencing quite a lot. Genuinely, it is okay. Don't be peer pressured into just, oh, I'm gonna miss out kind of vibe. If you don't want to go out, you don't want to go out, and that's completely fine. I did a couple of nights in a row, so there was a couple of nights that I did the Saturday, Sunday and Monday, but most of the time otherwise I did kind of one night out, one night in, and that really helped me. Obviously, me and my boyfriend were moving away from each other, so being able to FaceTime him on the evenings was also sort of a sense of home. And yeah, talk to your parents, talk to your brothers and sisters, make sure you're giving your family enough time too, and giving yourself some sort of self-care reset time, because socializing that much can be exhausting sometimes, especially when you're in a familiar situation. So yeah, I found that saying no to a few nights out actually really did benefit me. And even though I had really major FOMO when I was seeing photos and hearing stories, in the long run, looking back, I don't regret at all. I don't look back and think I should have gone out more, because I feel like I did go out a reasonable amount of time for what I wanted to do. So yeah, that was probably overall going out. Freshers Week is the most you'll ever go out in the whole of uni, and I already know that now. Since Freshers Week, I've gone out probably once to 2 times a week. Obviously it's sports night every Wednesday, so now I'm going to be going out every Wednesday. But also we've been kind of going out maybe on a Friday or Saturday too. So Freshers Week is so intense in terms of nights out and going out and enjoying life and socialising. And it does get a lot easier than that. You'll have a lot more nights in of just cozy, or instead of going out with your friends, you'll decide to do a work night in with watching a film and a takeaway or some ice cream, for example. So yeah, it can be so intense and you feel so pressured to go out, but I'd say try to do as much as you can and give yourself some reset time, because I feel like that is so important. And it is so easy to just give in to peer pressure and say, do you know what, I'll go out. And then finally, I wanted to talk about homesickness, and sort of like relating back to the FOMO kind of vibe, and just generally like mental health wise. I have felt quite a lot happier at uni than I did throughout the summer, and that was only because through my sixth form experience, like I had a lot of friendship issues, and I sort of left sixth form with only, like other than my boyfriend, with only one proper friend. And at the time I was okay with that because that was what was best for me, was to sort of move on with my life. However, obviously through summer that was so, it was hard, and I never showed that on my YouTube kind of thing. But yeah, like I had some really, really low days through the summer because obviously I literally had one friend plus Aaron, and I didn't really get the opportunity to go out and like have the summer that everyone else was having. Yeah, I spent a lot of it working in bed with Aaron. That was pretty much it. Like I never really had loads of like experiences like other people. And so now that I'm at uni and I've gathered like already a little like close-knit set of friends, obviously that's means so much to me because that was not what I had in sixth form. So I feel like my experience is very different from other people's because getting to uni has given me the chance to meet new people and get on with a lot more people that are my vibe, and like I know that I can be myself around. So overall I felt a lot happier. However, that does not mean that I haven't had my low days. I literally cried in the last time I went out on Friday. It is Monday at the moment. I cried in the toilets of the club, genuine tears, because I just didn't feel great, and that's okay. Like I've still cried a few nights. I've been on FaceTime to Aaron and I've had a few tears shared, and like you do just feel sometimes a bit anxious, or you feel a bit left out and lonely. And yeah, university can be so lonely. My voice is completely going, what the hell, I'm gonna hate myself editing this back. But yeah, overall there is a massive like sort of lonely aspect to university, and that's because you are just shoved into this atmosphere, expected to live, like you're just expected to get on with your life and just know exactly what you're doing, when realistically we've all been sort of shouted by our mums and like our dads and our family, so we're not prepared really for this life. And when you have that so much pressure to kind of just look after yourself, I found that pressure, and then also the pressure of making friends, and then also the pressure of starting a degree and having to keep up on work, you sometimes can feel like you're in it alone, and you like that is hard. That is sometimes hard. But I'd say just keep reaching out to people that you love. Your family is going to be like your most important people in this, right? Like I literally on Freshers Week, or like just after Freshers Week, I literally spent like over 2.5 hours on FaceTime to my mum, just talking about life and everything that was going on. And I would say that there's so much power in that. Like you're definitely not alone, although you may feel lonely so many times. Yeah, you can push through it, and it's everything that you're feeling right now is temporary, and there is much better days to come than what you are experiencing in this moment. Hopefully there's some people out there who kind of relate to that, and that's like their sense of hope. But I would just say with homesickness, if you need to go home, you need to go home. Go home. Genuinely get to the train home, drive home, whatever your transport is, just go home. Do not stay because you feel like you're going to miss out on your friends. Do not stay because, oh, I've paid 9 grand for my university degree, or like, oh, I'm paying like 5 grand for this accommodation. Genuinely just go home if you really need that love and that close support, which honestly I've been home once since I've been at uni, and I'm going home this weekend because it is actually my reading week next week. So I'm off uni basically for a whole week, so I'm going home, and it was the most amazing experience going home. I met everyone in the family. I was telling them all about how uni was going, etc. And yeah, that was honestly, it cheered me up so much. And yeah, it helps. It really does help. And when you come back to uni, you feel more like refreshed and like, yeah, I feel better. So yeah, I would say like it's okay to go home. I went home when I wasn't feeling that great, and it made me feel a lot more refreshed and a lot more prepared to come back and sort of do uni, like start learning new things. So yeah, I think I'm gonna sort of summarize this video here. I know it's been a really big chatty one, but to be honest, I was in the mood to do a little bit of a chatty video. And yeah, I wanted to just sort of share what my freshers experience was like and give some general advice to any of you guys who are also sort of going through freshers or like are scared for freshers next year, or you're just genuinely curious. Like, it's fine, we're all a bit nosy sometimes. But yeah, that was kind of how I felt through freshers and like sort of my life update, my uni update about how I'm doing at the moment. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please leave some comments down below if you're also struggling, or just some general advice if you're like a second or third year, because I mean, I'm a fresher and I'm yet to experience what uni life is truly about. I've literally been here for a month, so I would also really much appreciate any second or third year's advice, and I'm pretty sure there's so many freshers who are going to be watching this video that will want to see those comments too. So if you have any advice, please leave them down below, and also send me some of your funny stories that happen in freshman weeks too. But yeah, feel free to subscribe and stick around for some more uni related videos. But yeah, for now, I will see you next time with another video. Bye.